Hey everybody, Jordan Brown here, bringing you another fun and affordable Tiny Leaders deck tech with fun and affordable MTG. So because we have just recently started seeing our Rivals of Ixalan spoilers, and that set is coming out pretty soon in a couple weeks here, we are going to be looking at a Tiny Leaders deck tech for Kumena, Tyrant of Orazca. So the deck here obviously only has a couple of Rivals of Ixalan cards at the moment. There are likely upgrades that you'll want to make as we see more cards coming out from the set. But for now, we got Kumena, Tyrant of Orazca. He is a 2/4 for 1 green-blue, legendary creature, Merfolk Shaman. And he reads, tap another untapped Merfolk you control. Kumena, Tyrant of Orazca can't be blocked this turn. Tap 3 untapped Merfolk you control, draw a card. Tap 5 untapped Merfolk you control, put a +1/+1 counter on each Merfolk you control. So we're going to go ahead and look at our creatures, and we're going to be a little bit briefer on these. So we got a lot of quality 1-drops. Jungle Delver, we can pay mana to make it bigger on its own. Kumena's Speaker is a 2/2 for 1 if we control an island or a merfolk. Merfolk Spy is a 1/1 for blue with Island Walk, so if we're against an opponent with blue mana, or we get one of our couple of cards that lets us give our opponents islands temporarily, and when he deals combat damage to a player, that player reveals a card at random from his or her hand. And of course we got Tideshaper Mystic, which lets us tap it to have target land become the basic land type of our choice until end of turn. We can only use this ability during our turn, but that's going to empower our Island Walk creatures, which we only have a couple of. So we've got Triton Shorestalker is a 1/1 unblockable. Coralhelm Commander is a blue-blue creature that's originally just a 2/2. Then we can level it up for 1 mana at a time, and at levels 2 and 3, it's a 3/3 with flying, and at level 4 and up, which we're never really going to need to go higher than 4, it's a 4/4 with flying that also buffs our other merfolk creatures by +1/+1. Deeproot Warrior is a 2/2 for 1 in green that when he becomes blocked, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. And Gaia's Skyfolk is a 2/2 for green-blue with flying, just basic level evasion, quality, elf merfolk in our colors. We got Harbinger of Tides, which is a 2/2 for blue-blue, and when we cast him, when he enters the battlefield, we may return target tapped creature an opponent controls to its owner's hand, and we can pay 2 more to cast it. Kiora's Follower is a 2/2 for green-blue that we can tap to untap another target permanent. And Master of the Pearl Trident is another lord. It gives our merfolks +1/+1 and Island Walk. And Merfolk Branchwalker is a 2/1 for 1 in green that explores when it enters. And exploring means that it's either going to get bigger, and we're going to get to see a card or dump a card into the graveyard that we don't want right now, or we're going to get a land into our hand, which is essentially card draw. So we've also got the classic Merfolk Looter, so we can tap it to draw a card and discard a card. River Sneak is some more unblockable that gets temporarily bigger when we play other Merfolk. Shaper Apprentice is a 2/1 for 1 blue, which has flying as long as we control another Merfolk. And Silvergill Adept is a 1 blue 2/1 that draws a card when we reveal another Merfolk. So Stonybrook Banneret is 1 in the blue for a 1/1 with Island Walk for that evasion against other blue players, and it reduces the cost of our Merfolk and Wizard spells, which, the Merfolk is going to be the more important part there. Tidebinder Mage is blue-blue for a 2/2, and when it enters the battlefield, we can tap target red or green creature an opponent controls, and it won't untap on their untap step as long as we control Tidebinder Mage. Cold-Eyed Selkie is another Island Walk creature. It's a 1/1 for 2 green-blue hybrid mana and 1, and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, we draw cards equal to its power, or however much damage it dealt to that player. Kopala, Warden of Waves, is 1 blue-blue for a 2/2, and spells your opponent's cast that target a merfolk you control cost 2 more to cast, and abilities your opponents activate that target a merfolk you control cost 2 more to activate. So he's going to provide us some protection as we go wide with our creatures. So we got Low Mage Mentor, which is a 2/2 for 1 blue, who creates Merfolk whenever we counter a spell with a spell or ability we control, and lets us tap 7 untapped Merfolk to counter target spell. Merfolk Sovereign is a 2/2 for 1 blue, who is a lord, and also we can tap to make target Merfolk unblockable this turn. Scroll Thief is a 1/3 for 2 blue, and whenever it deals damage to a player, we just get to draw a card. Tishana's Wayfinder is a 2/2 for 2 green, and whenever it enters the battlefield, it explores, which, as I said before, is good because it's either going to get bigger, so it'll be a 3/3 for 3 with some card knowledge, or it'll give us a land, which will get that out of the way. It's essentially card draw in that case. Vineshaper Mystic is a 1/3 for 2 blue that lets us put +1/+1 counters on 2 other Merfolk, including itself if need be, so it's kind of a buffer. For our spells, we have Spell Pierce, which costs 1 blue, and counter target non-creature spell unless its controller pays 2, which is going to let us slow down our opponent as we go wide with our Merfolk and then make them bigger. River Herald's Boon, it costs 1 and a green, and lets us put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, and a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target Merfolk. Both of those can target the same creature, provided it's a Merfolk, and every creature in our deck is a Merfolk. Enter the Unknown costs a green, and target creature you control explores, and you may play an additional land this turn. So this is going to let us either draw a land or make one of our creatures bigger and give us some upcoming knowledge, or dump a card into the graveyard, and just any of them can explore. Next up are our enchantments. We've got Shaper's Sanctuary for green. Whenever a creature we control becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, we get to draw a card, which is good. We're going to get to put Merfolk in our hand as we empty it out if our opponent targets our creatures. Deeproot Waters is 2 and a blue, and whenever you cast a Merfolk spell, create a 1/1 blue Merfolk creature token with hexproof. This works really well with all of our Merfolk creatures. It lets us double up on them, fill up the board really fast to power Kumena and that Low Mage. And then we've got Marrow Commerce, which is 1 and a blue. At the end of your turn, untap all Merfolk you control. This works really good with Kumena. It lets us be defensive for a little while until we've got a wide board from tapping with Kumena, or we can tap with Kumena on our opponent's turn, swing on our turn, and then have our Merfolk back up again for swinging some more. Now we're going to look at the lands. I did have to cut a few here because a lot of the blue and green lands are very, very expensive. We're talking like $8 and up. So if you already have some of those, like Botanical Sanctum from Kaladesh, 100% I would recommend including that. So we got Temple of Mystery, which is the temple cards are an awesome mainstay. It taps for a blue or a green and enters the battlefield tapped, but also when it enters we get to scry 1. Thornwood Falls enters tapped, gains us a life when it enters, and taps for blue or green. Yavimaya Coast taps for 1 normally, or we can tap it for a green or blue, and then it deals 1 damage to us. Then we round out the land base with 7 forests and 8 islands. Again, unless you have some lands you want to upgrade into some of the little bit more expensive ones. Alright, so on TCG Player, you can get the deck for $23.58 right now, or from verified sellers for $22.19. This does not count the price of Kumena or Explore the Unknown, because TCG Player does not currently have prices for those cards. You're going to average it right now. The price for Kumena is about $9. That could go up or could go down depending. I don't expect it to really go up much. If it does go up, it really depends on where it's going to get played. So you're really looking at a $30 deck right here, which is not bad at all. Again, our commander is Kumena, Tyrant of Orazca. You can find the deck list at the URL up here or in the description below. And once again, I would like to thank Kevin McLeod for letting us use his music for this video. I hope everyone has an awesome day and a great time playing Tiny Leaders with Kumena, Tyrant of Orazca.